Look at this. It's the goddess Durga, very powerful, many arms, several of them holding weapons. You can see she's mounting a tiger, the symbol of power. And she's holding center frame. Off to her side and smaller, you've got Krishna and Hanuman, which may have been representative of a woman's role back in the day in ancient India, maybe the world, matriarchal. But it certainly isn't the role now.
India has always fascinated me with its diverse history of sexuality and geographical spread of varying female empowerment. Delhi has recently become a hotspot over high-profile rape cases, but the real story of women's struggle begins outside the city. To chase that story, I take the train to the small town of Banda in Uttar Pradesh. It's a rural area with high levels of poverty, a tough place to live, especially if you're born female. Insiders tell me up to 90% of the women here endure domestic abuse. I'm on a mission to help this girl. Beside me is Sampachi, a strong-willed woman who's embraced the concept of building a vocal minority.
As I understand it, you were thrown out of your in-laws' place. You came to Sampaji, told her about the situation. We're going back to that house to try to rectify the situation and get you back into the home. Can you tell me what happened exactly?
साल भर हो गए रहते हैं। हाँ, पहले कुछ महीना 2 महीना अच्छे से रखे हैं। इसके बाद पता नहीं इनको क्या हो गया जो मेरे साथ इतना बुरा सलूक करने लगे। क्या करते थे, दहेज के पीछे मारते पीटते थे, तो मार पीट के एक दिन घर से निकाल दिया।
Now I understood the dowry system is illegal in India, but it still happens here in Uttar Pradesh?
चोरी चोरी चलती है। कानून से तो बिल्कुल सही बात है, लेकिन जो कोई दहेज नहीं देता तो अंदर अंदर औरतों को प्रताड़ित करते रहते हैं हर तरह के बहाने से। लेकिन अब जैसे हम लोगों को पता चल जाता है कि कोई दहेज के कारण से इनको निकाल रहा है, कोई दहेज के कारण से इनकी शादी नहीं कर रहा, तो उसमें हम कानूनी तौर से, और जब कानून हमारी बात को नहीं मानती तो फिर हम लाठी डंडा से।
We're about to drive to the in-laws' home in an attempt to force the family who disowned this girl to take her back. It seems like an unsavory option. I find it difficult to understand that out here the rules are different. Options are slim. The game of life must be played within limitations I haven't experienced. At the house, we meet a growing community of women established by Sampachi, one called the Gulabi Gang, a team that's inspired a Bollywood movie with its David versus Goliath fight for women's rights. Together, we crash the apartment. The stepmother doesn't see it coming.
शादी करके अगर लाया हो तो मैं रखती। अरे बाबा, मैं कहा तू नहीं शादी करके लाया तो कम से कम वो कोर्ट मैरिज करके लाया है तो वो तो और अच्छा होता है। अब बताओ, ये गई थी, मालूम है कहाँ गई थी? ट्रेन में कटने गई थी, और शायद ये ट्रेन में कट जाती तो आज तुम जेल चली जाती।
The husband arrives and immediately feigns ignorance.
इन्हें पहचानते हो? देख, पहचानते नहीं हो? अब बताओ, तुम सही बोलो। अगर तुम्हें रखना है तो बताओ, नहीं रखना है तो नजदीकी थाना में अभी जा रहे हैं इनको लेके।
With the sudden pressure, they scramble for an easy resolution.
ठीक है, रहने दो।
But Sampachi is looking for something more concrete.
आज हमारे सामने इनके लिए कुछ करना पड़ेगा। तो यहाँ इसके हमारे सामने सिंदूर भरे, इसको माला पहनाए, वो इसको माला पहनाएगी, तब हम समझेंगे। कल के दिन तुम इसको मार डालो, निकालो, तो हमारे पास कोई सबूत होना चाहिए। जाओ, दो माला सिंदूर लाओ। हाँ, फोटो भी लेना होगा। नहीं माया, अब ये बहुत जरूरी है। और देखो, ये लड़की अगर हमारे यहाँ अब गई तो हम भाई नहीं बर्दाश्त करेंगे।
Sampachi proves a master at creating critical mass. She calls in a local journalist to take pictures, invites people from the village to join, and makes it very clear that our footage is airing internationally. At first, the husband looks like he's been condemned to a firing squad, but little by little, the inevitability of the situation dawns on him. With all other options sliding fast off the table, he seems to embrace his fate.
Officially recorded now, these two are married. It's undeniable in the village. Hopefully it'll stick, and hopefully it'll be a happy marriage.
I decide to keep the mood positive as I saddle up to speak with a couple.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on getting married. Good for you. Can you tell me the moment when you thought, I'm gonna marry this woman?
सुंदर लगती थी, अच्छी लगती थी, इसका रहन सहन सामाजिक अच्छा लगता था.
Do you remember when he proposed to you? You said yes. Why did you say yes? What did you like about him?
लड़का मुझे सही दिखा था, कमाता धमाता अच्छा था, तो मैं इनके साथ शादी करने के लिए राजी हो गई थी.
Well, great. Well, you're a handsome man. She's a beautiful woman. You look good together. You're a nice couple. And obviously, she loves you because she really fought to come back to you. So I think you guys have what it takes to be a great couple.
हाँ, हम खुशी हैं, खुशी खुशी इकट्ठे जीवन यापन करेंगे, साथ बिताएंगे.
And you got married on TV, brother. You're the most famous couple in the whole village. It's an international marriage. All right, congratulations. Well, that seems to have gone about as well as it could have. Feels like a woman in this part of India is in a very fragile position. She's in the whim of her family in a very subservient role, and then she's transferred to the in-laws family. And any point during that process, if she's rejected, thrown out, she doesn't really have much value in the society. Without an education, without any money, what's she gonna do? But thanks to the Gulabi Gang, she was put back into that family, and they seem to have embraced her and accepted the fact that, hey, this is what it is. Better live with it and enjoy it. Hope it works out for them.
I leave the house feeling invigorated and hopeful, but soon, everything will get murky. I'm Jonathan Legg, and I've been plowing a route across the country of India looking at alternative sides to spirituality. In Delhi, I looked at the bandwidth of opinions regarding the cow, from care to worship to slaughter. As I left, mythological images pasted on walls hinted to a concept of the highly empowered female. But outside of the city, women are anything but. A one-of-a-kind group and their charismatic leader are looking to change all that, but the caseload is heavy and thick. Mornings start early in Uttar Pradesh. It's harvest season in the fields. The villages are a flurry of activity. Livestock is being milked. 3 generations of a family meticulously build a room. And someone's daughter prepares that khanda used to heat tea and prepare lunch. Not far off, I sit in a car again with another disowned girl. She ran off with a man to get eloped in Bombay. But after years of savage beatings and a related miscarriage, she's fled back to the village.
The family was so upset that she got married without their involvement that they won't take her back. A woman in her position, not belonging to either family, quite often might commit suicide. So we're right outside of the parents' house now, and we're gonna force the issue, confront the father and say, look, it's your daughter, it's your responsibility to take care of her, man up. She's obviously pretty nervous to go in. She's been gone a while, and he's already said, I want nothing to do with you.
When Sampachi gives the go, we move into the home. The man strikes me as reserved and modest, the kind of father I would not imagine denying a daughter in need. The man is squeezed between community disapproval and financial strain, yet I feel his love for his daughter is still flickering. Suddenly another man arrives, the brother, mouth stained red from pan. The young man begins to describe his dilemma, one that slowly shifts my sympathy to him. He pulls out a note from a doctor recounting his wife's suicide attempt. and he reads a letter from his wife's lawyer stating that she'll leave him for having another woman. The woman, he claims, is his sister, now that she's a liability bringing ill repute on the household, so bad that the brother's wife will leave him for it. He seems to be in a jam, and I feel for him. Reject his sister or lose his wife and the kids. But even as the tears flow, some parts of the story don't add up. The suicide attempt, the letters from the lawyer, all dated a year ago. But the sister's been back for only 2 weeks. The emotions feel genuine. The sadness is there. But the entire story is not being disclosed. It appears in this society, this beautiful young girl can suddenly be a liability, pulling down the status of the family for generations. A deal is struck, not a fantastic resolution, but a livable one. Sampachi will bring the girl a sewing machine so she can work and support the unemployed father. The brother will have to live apart. We drive back to Sampachi's place, an airy space painted in her trademark pink color. A house that's become a home for various relatives and a refuge for women in need.
The Sampaji, in this part of India, how would you rate a woman's level of empowerment?
देखिए, औरत का हक आधा होता है, लेकिन जिसको पता है कि हमारा आधा है, तो वो तो औरत आगे है, और जिसको यही पता नहीं है, वो खाली औरत पर बनी है, उसको खुद पता नहीं अपनी जिंदगी जीने का, तो वो बेचारी एक पाए की जूती पुरुषों की बनी रहती है। हमारे हिंदुस्तान में अभी ऐसे है, ऐसे नहीं है कि हमारे यहाँ की हिंदुस्तान की औरतें जीरो हों, वो जीरो नहीं है, पर अभी हमारे जैसे बुंदेलखंड में हैं, कम से कम 75% अंधेरे में औरतें घुसी हैं, जो अपने आप को खुद समझ नहीं रही कि हम एक इंसान हैं।
You seem very passionate. Was there some experience you had early in your involvement with this project that really ignited a fire inside of you?
मैं छोटी थी, तब तो मुझे खेलने उलने का ज्ञान है थोड़ी थोड़ी, लेकिन जब मैं बड़ी हुई तो मेरे माँ बाप पढ़ाते नहीं थे। धीरे धीरे हम बहुत बड़ी हो गई। हमारे 12 साल में शादी हो गई। जब हमारी 12 साल में शादी होगी, हम ससुराल आ गए। तब तो हम छोटी थी, तो हमको शादी को और शौक लगता था कि हम दुल्हन बन के जा रहे हैं, जैसे कोई गुड्डी गुड्डा। हमें कोई पता नहीं था कि और आगे क्या होगा। हमें ये भी पता नहीं था कि कोई लाठी मारेगा। जब हम अपने ससुराल आए तो हमारी सास जी इतना चक्किया पिसाती थी, ऐसे ऐसे करके। हम रोटी बनाते थे, वो बाद में खाना वो खाते, बाद में हम खाते थे। बस ये अन्याय मुझसे नहीं बर्दाश्त हुआ। वहीं से मैं अपनी लड़ाई शुरू कर दी थी, 15 साल की उम्र में।
I'm impressed with the woman's passion. Friends secretly grumble that she speaks too much of herself, and she makes a point to show me her various awards and appearances in publications. But who among us hasn't indulged in a little vanity?
So Sampachi, can women here choose who they want to marry?
नहीं, वो नहीं आज़ादी है, यहाँ आज़ादी नहीं है। और अब लड़का लड़की जब
As we speak, a new girl arrives at Sampachi's door. She has an ordeal. She heard this was the place to come. The girl tells of going to a neighbor's house for dinner. After the meal, she felt drugged. Next thing she knows, she's being dressed and put on a train, handed over to the neighbor's son and his friends. She's brought to Mumbai, where she's held captive as a sex slave. She's escaped and wants to now confront the woman who sold her out. While she speaks, the father sits nearby, remarkably calm as the story is recounted. I'm suddenly eager to meet this woman. Sampachi has been known to visit violence to make her point. This seems like the kind of scenario that's going to end bad for the woman we're going to confront. We approach quick, before the culprit has a chance to escape, and catch her unaware at home. Inside the house, something bitterly unsatisfying plays out. The woman spins a different story. The victimized girl really left to elope with her son. The marriage didn't work out, so the girl returned with a sensational story to cover her failure. The community gathers around the doorway. As the word spreads, they all begin to unify in support of their neighbor's account. Sampachi herself seems to be caught up in the crowd consensus, shouting down the girl. Does she believe the woman, or is there no better option than to accept the story? I begin to feel like the victim is taking the fall here. I step away from the door with a strong feeling of unease.
Well, it started off great. A feel-good story about how a charismatic woman in the media can change someone's life. I like that. But then it ended kind of muddled. Two things are for certain. A lot of people are lying, which is discouraging, and there are deep-seated rules and norms in the community that go so far down a father would deny his daughter, and a community would go against a woman who most probably was victimized. I guess change takes a while to take place, but leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
On the way out, I stop to talk to the local police. They agree something's fishy, but they worry pressing a case will destroy this woman's reputation. They advise considering the social implications. I've met some good people in this part of the country, but I also feel the gravity of struggle, abuse, and injustice. Fortunately, I have the option many don't: to leave.